Hello guys, today let's draw together this dynamic scene with a surfer in Procreate Dreams. We start with creating a canvas. From the templates I choose square. In the settings I choose FPS 12 and duration 2. And press draw. I have a sketch of a surfer, so I'll take it as a basis. To do this, I press plus and choose photos. I place the picture on the canvas. Now through the action menu, I set the transparency. Great, now we need to create a new track and fold the panel into flipbook. Now we draw a quick sketch on top. I close the flipbook and turn off the background. Well, let's go back to flipbook. We leave the first frame and go to the next. I want to draw a squat. We draw the surfer a little lower, leaving the board in place. The next frame is also a squat, moving he even lower. I draw hair in the direction up, in the direction of movement. And on the next frame, the surfer squats even more. This, by the way, will counteract the subsequent flip. And another fifth frame in a similar way. Let's see what happens. Great, let's move on. On the sixth frame, I change the angle. The board takes up most of the screen and the surfer peeks out from below. To loop the animation, I need to duplicate the first frame. To do this, I move it to the very end, otherwise the animation will shift. Then I duplicate and move the main frame back. Let's first add an intermediate frame before changing the angle. Based on the intermediate frames, I draw the surfer. By the way, you can enable onion skin by clicking on the timer on the left. And let's add another intermediate frame. Let's look at the preview. It still looks very fast. I add another intermediate frame. And I stretch the frame with the board forward several times. Better, but I want to fix the hair at the beginning. Now I return the length of the frame with the board and duplicate it. First, let's draw a bounce here with the appearance of the head. I draw part of the hair. Add another frame, the hair is already a bit more. On the next frame, the head is almost visible and the face begins to turn towards the camera. And another frame with a rebound of hair back. Let's see what happens. It already looks much smoother and the bounce with the head coming out worked. But I want the surfer to blink more smoothly. Therefore, let's add another frame with opening eyes. Now we need to draw intermediate frames where the surfer returns, something like this. Then I add another frame after that, and I draw another intermediate frame based on the neighbors. And another frame getting closer to the duplicate. Okay, now we need to turn off the last frame with the duplicate. Let's look at the preview. What do you think? I think we need to add another frame when the angle decreases. Look at the preview one more time. I want the surfer not to blink, but to wink, so I redraw the eyes. Well, let's leave it for now. Let's put the background. I remove the transparency from the background frame. And using a click on the timer, I pick the color. Yes, here you cannot take the color from the background with a pipette. And now turn off the background frame again. Now I go to timeline edit mode and group the layers with the draft. And after that, I set the transparency. From the background, I take the color of the body with a pipette. And on a new track, we start outlining the contour of the body. Now we need to do this for all our layers. The outline will already be final, so we need to try hard. At the moment, Procreate does not have a convenient stabilization setting for each brush. But you can set the stabilization in the general settings, which will apply to all brushes at once. While tracing the outline, be sure to pay attention to the neighboring frames. And also don't forget to make intermediate previews. Let's see what happens. So, now on a new track we draw hair. Everything is similar here. Let's speed up a bit. By the way, on one of the frames I realized that the direction of the hair goes in the wrong direction, so I redraw it immediately. Now it's the face's turn. I paint it right away, except for the frames with a close-up. Next, we draw him shorts, also on a new track. Here I realized that the upper and lower parts of the body had to be drawn on different layers. So, where the shorts cross the fingers will have to be drawn separately. Preview. Let's move on to the surfboard. Trace it on every frame. I bent the board a little in some places to enhance the effect. Let's look at the preview. I decided to redraw the hand as the movement looks very abrupt, and I also redrew the hair in the squat. Well, now let's move on to the filling stage. I use a rough brush, and to preserve the texture, I manually paint all the places. There's nothing interesting here, so let's watch it at ultra speed. So, there are details left. I draw the eyes, slightly narrowing and enlarging them at certain moments. And also I draw the thickness of the board. Look at the preview. Now we need to add a speed effect with splashes. On the first frames, I randomly place splashes, moving them up and along a wavy line. Splashes gradually decrease to dots. So guys, here's what happened. I slightly corrected the details after the video. What do you think about today's lesson? Is it interesting for you to watch the process in Procreate Dreams? Thank you for watching. See you in the next videos.